Now, from across the tri-states, this is KHQA Sports.
Well, these kids are the knights we live for in this business. Tip top of the evening and welcome to Sports Final amidst this Frankenstorm of fantastic football fun.
Yeah.
I'm topical.
Well, yeah, starting off, the Pigskin playoffs are in full force tonight with a full-scale slate of Missouri District action in the first season of this brand new playoff system. We were expecting a lot of blowouts tonight in this initial seeding round, and true to form, we got them. But also a three-game jumpstart on the road to Champaign-Urbana in the land of Lincoln.
Indeed, and we start off with Quincy, Notre Dame, Macomb, the rematch. Macomb heard all week about who Q&D didn't have for injuries. The Bombers came out in an angry mood. Q&D came out in a party move. I think that was Alex Fitch dressed up as a Teletubby. Those kids tailgating since 2:30 this afternoon. Macomb's defense set a vicious tone on the first drive, sending the Raiders 3 and out. That's Eli Cousins, and guess what? Brett Taylor in the middle of things. Who else? The future All-Stater. 3 and out by both teams to start, and then Q&D goes to work in this game. Great passing play right here from Joe McKay. The little flare pass ends up with big yards, but Q&D facing 4th and 17 right here. Check this out. It is a beautifully executed hook and lateral play. Nick Wyman on the other end of it. He takes it in for the score. PAT would fail. Q&D off the chicanery built itself a 6-0 lead at that point. You know what? Macomb about to counter, and they're going to counter with a guy who did it to the Raiders last week. That is Jared Rockhold, and this is number 15, or number 16, I should say, with 17 yards in the big pickup. Next possession, it's Rockhold, just slippery, stepping in and out of tackles, weaving his way back and forth. That's a 13-yard game. Toss sweep. Rockhold's got that in the arsenal as well. Q&D could not tackle this kid, and that sets up this. Toss sweep yet again, going to the left, gets one good block right there, and then he's off to the races, as Macomb would take a 7-6 lead in this ball game, courtesy of Mr. Rockhold's rush right there. He had 140 yards rushing in the first half alone. Bill Cannell not amused at that point. His team trying to get back to work right here. Wyman Cat in the red zone. Remember the struggles last week? Alema Stone right there with a huge hit. That's Nick Sievers at the bottom of the pile as well. As Q&D was forced at that point, it's the 4th and 4 situation. Q&D couldn't score in the red zone. They pull out the chicanery again. Fake field goal at the other end of this. Look at Tanner Wetzler right there getting the stop. Q&D settled for nothing. Meanwhile, Q&D came back at the other end, though. Bottled things up. Jeremy Frieden with a big hit, and that would set up this. The touchdown rumble right there from the now healthy Connor Obert put Q&D up at that point 12-7. They were looking for the 2-point conversion. It's Nick Wyman on the toss sweep, but at the other end of things, check out the great stop right there by Jared Rockhold. Beautiful individual one-on-one tackle. Jack Cornell, it helps to have a Baltimore Raven on your sideline. He was trash talking the referees. Bill Cannell even smiling in the background. More defense, though, in this time. Macomb trying to scare something up at the end of the first half. Great tackle on 4th and short on Jacob Poor right there by Connor Obert, who stops things. But you know what? Turnover. Q&D would turn it right back over after the turnover on downs. Great interception right there by Austin Allen. The story in this night was turnovers by Q&D. They had 5 of them. Jared Rockhold comes out to start the second half. 53-yard touchdown rumble. Things were never the same. Eli Cousins, big fourth quarter. Q&D beaten twice by Macomb in 8 days. Macomb hadn't beaten him in 8 years prior to that, but this is the one that counts because Brett Taylor and company are moving on. They get the win tonight. 21-19 was your final. Up next for the Macomb Bombers will be a showdown with either Peoria Notre Dame, very athletic team that Q&D did beat though this season, or Prairie Central. That game taking place on Saturday at 6 o'clock. We'll update you who Macomb's opponent will be and talk more about the Bombers' big win coming up tomorrow. Meanwhile, we've got Illini West on the road. Lyle Klein's defense very good last week in a loss against Monroe's. In that game, Martell Hunter didn't have a rushing touchdown. Here the defense stands up big. For the second time in 2 years, it's your nose guard, Braxton Squire, with an interception. That kid can flat play, and that's great stuff. I talked to you about the defense. Tremont quarterback Connor O'Keefe under pressure all night long here. It's Leighton Johnson and Caleb Speakermeyer forcing the fumble, and it goes out of bounds. It was that kind of night for the Tremont offense, which was very good coming into this game. Illini West made it look silly. Don't ever doubt Lyle Klein. Right here, here comes the offense for the Chargers. They're up in this game 8-6, and this is the big fella, Brighton Smith, with a big pickup just before the end of the first half. In fact, as time was ticking down, at the end of regulation, Illini West trying to take and augment that lead of 2 points. Brody Gronwald doing what he does, sneaking his way in and giving his team the lead and ultimately the victory as the Chargers win on the road. They're golden into round 2 as they get the win tonight by the final count of 24-6. Up next for the Chargers, they will likely be at home against Clifton Central.
Let's take it to the 2A first round. First quarter were scoreless between Beardstown and Athens. Look at the catch by Greg Carnes there, leaping up for the first down. That drive would stall. Wouldn't matter though. We were scoreless after one. Beardstown would still strike first. That's Gus Vermillion completing to Dylan Patterson. Great work by the Tiger wideouts tonight. That drive would be capped by a long touchdown run for Patterson. So we had the nice catch, and he's going to go long range for the score here. 7-0 Beardstown in this one. But their opponent, Athens, really no slouch. They would answer quickly. So after Athens answers, Beardstown, it's the halfback pass. That's so pretty. Alex Miles to Delaney Ortiz, wide open. He could walk into the end zone from that point. Beardstown up in this one near the end of the half, but Athens would strike as well. Check out this catch. Oh my goodness, how do you hang on to that? Athens took a halftime lead and actually would go on to win this game, ending Beardstown's season 20-13. But what a season by the Tigers.
Fantastic run for the Tigers. They lost to a really good Athens team. Now we're just getting started with the Illinois Fun. 5 playoff games coming your way tomorrow. We'll have some college football and some sectional cross country and all of your usual goodies on overtime. Again, that comes your way tomorrow at 10:30. Let's move to Missouri, Ross.
Game of the week, Palmyra and Mark Twain. Second quarter, Panthers up 14-6. Here's Brock Butler on the run. It's Case Doyle for the nice gain here. The big man just rumbling through. He gets down to the 30-yard line. And then later that drive, it'd be Dylan Parrish. You saw him on Sensational 7 a week ago. He is just a motor when he gets going through the defense. Puts them a little bit closer.
Big man.
Oh, absolutely. And then Brock Butler's going to finish it off. You also saw him on Sensational 7 last week. 2-yard score puts Panthers up 21-6. Later on, though, Mark Twain, they wouldn't go away in this one either. Tyler Steinkamp, you heard Coach Hudson say he was healthy, ready to go, and he showed it right here, just slapping defenders away, gets inside the 10, but Palmyra would take over on downs. Brock Butler, we mentioned he's hard to stop earlier this week. Well, Mark Twain was up to the task there about, the entire defense pushing him back there for a tackle for loss. Later on, Butler wants to go deep, and check out Logan Epperson just snatching this one away. Beautiful interception. Tries to turn it back upfield, but Mark Twain didn't have enough answers tonight. Palmyra wins this one. Final score was 36-12, and also they will move on to play Highland in this one as they knock off Clopton-Ellsbury.
Can you call that an upset? Highland's really playing well. That's going to be a tall order for Palmyra next
week. Really came on at the end of the year. They were 30-8 winners, so Palmyra Highland in the next round.
Indeed, and the last time this season, we've got a grill qualifier for you. Number 10, John Nash. Maybe it'll be lucky. We'll tell you who the big winner of the brand new grill is coming up next week. Clark County on the other side of that district taking on winless Monroe City. Monroe City, though, to their credit, played very, very tough in the first half. Check out the stuffing right here of the run right there by the big linebacker, Lincoln Jones, though. Clark County's defense good as well. Then it's Austin Egley looking to Rye Hunziker, who's going to take the nice run right there. That will set up Mr. Egley with the keeper. He's got 1,400 yards rushing this season. Sounds like a player of the year candidate to me, and no one can stop this kid. He's been ridiculous this year, and that sets up this. It's Egley to the air, looking for the aforementioned Lincoln Jones. Pretty catch. Going back across the field to make that happen. First score of the game. I told you Monroe City played pretty well in the first half in this game. Blake Grice, who's had a rough season behind some young offensive linemen, right there. Nice rumble against a really good Clark County defense. Clark's defense, though, would have no more of it. Tyler Heathington just gets absolutely stuffed and smothered right there. Monroe City, though, fighting in this game. Derek Kendrick, phenomenal young player, gets the quarterback sack right there on Egley. That doesn't happen very often. Let's do some Lincoln Jones right here. He's going to rumble up the middle in this one and just absolutely do some nice things. Look at, he's going to lead people, too, in the middle of it. Wow, that's sensational 7-worthy from Lincoln Jones. Sets up Lincoln Jones. Lincoln, you can trust him right here. Lincoln Jones, vampire slayer almost, if you will, in for the end zone for the score right there as Clark County takes a 2-touchdown lead. They're just going to keep going in this game. Austin Egley also going to hit Javen Ray right here to the 1-yard line. Sets up Mr. Egley again. All Clark County all the time in this game as they end up winning and moving on to the second round. 36-14 was your final. Up next for them, Bowling Green, who struggled the first time around against Van Far. No struggles tonight. That was a 1-point game last time around, Ross. The Bobcats versus Clark County. That might be semi-interesting, although we never know. More scores for you at the Class 1 level. We'll take a look there. We've got, first of all, Scotland County, a big-time winner tonight. Or excuse me, South Shelby, I should say, a big-time winner over Scotland County. No upset in that one. Alex Blackford on just 6 carries, 152 and 2 touchdowns. Also, up next for them, a showdown with Schuyler County, which rallied to beat Louisiana. Ross, other side of that district?
We'll take you to Hannibal and Mexico tonight.
No, we've got more from Class 1.
Another score real quick. West Tran, a big winner over North Shelby tonight, 56-0. Also, Class 1 District 5, it will be Knox County. 7 TDs between Gillespie and Mowbray as they knock off Paris 60-0. A lot of big wins tonight. Now we'll take it to Hannibal in Mexico. It was, well, this kind of night. The Pirates needed just 51 seconds to score. 3 and out for Mexico opening drive. Blocked punt for Elijah Harrison. Coming up with it in the end zone, Austin Davis. 7-0 Pirates at that point, and they would just keep piling it on. They led by 3 touchdowns at the end of one quarter. Here's Jake Borgmeyer. He's going to hit the tailback first and drive him backwards. And tackle for loss there. We'll show you Mitch Nichols here before we cut out to the highlight. He goes in from 32 yards. That looks very easy. 13-0 Pirates at that point. They go on to win 42-0. Really no test for Mexico tonight. And they will go on to play Marshall, who was an overtime winner tonight over Moberly in the next round. So Hannibal versus Marshall, as you see there, 21-17. Hannibal,
that's a bit of an upset too. Moberly, I thought, would have been the favorite going into that game. We've got good news volleyball-wise. Holy Trinity now 1 win away from state. They take out Monroe tonight after about a 6-hour bus trip tonight. Great night for guess who? Michaela Fecky. You got Fecky tonight as she had herself 14 kills, 9 blocks. Holy Trinity moving on to take on Winfield Mountain Union coming up in the sub-state game. I believe that's Wednesday at Mount Pleasant. We've got more volleyball to talk about. Central Southeastern coming off a huge and potentially season-making win and a comeback win where they showed great resolve last night against the Illini West.
I'm sure half the time I would be walking around there watching the other teams and thinking, oh gosh, this could have been us. We could have been playing here, and I feel like there would just be a lot of regret.
That was motivation in itself. I also think, though, you know, when we went up against Liberty, they'd already beaten us 3 times. The Illini West had already beaten us twice. And so these are a group of girls that really understand not quitting. And so I think that was really important with the motivation of home court. They wanted to have a...
And a big, big win for them, obviously back home for the sectional. We're back home right here tomorrow night for a huge night. My favorite Saturday of the year, high school football, college. We'll see you then, everybody.